It's Sue Greenwald here with Awaken Stories today, and I'm here with a special guest, John Jr., JJ Mendez. Hey, JJ, how are you?
I'm doing good. I'm a little tired, but it is what
Yeah,
it is.
yeah. So we're going to be talking about the MOUVE movement,
Hmm.
MOUVE. And JJ is the founder of that. He's the one that's put the concept together. So I'm going to just ask some questions. Everyone is a buzz about it. Everyone wants more info. They want to sign up. They want to get started. So I thought we
Hmm.
would give them the overview of what's happening there. So
Hmm.
first of all, JJ, what is the website name that you've created for this project?
So the website name would be Move Official, MOUVE, official official.com.
Yeah,
We lucked out with the domain there. I was really worried about that when starting everything, but it's 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 ready
perfect.
to go. It's ready to go.
Perfect. Okay. So I'm going to put all of this information in the description once I get that written up. So moveofficial.com, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
I got nervous. So
No, you're good.
basically, I want to talk about your background a little bit and what caused you to start the game, if you will, or the project. I don't know how to refer to it yet. And then we'll go into more specifics if that's okay. So
Yeah.
um, we all know that you have a famous father, King Smarty. How did you
Yeah.
get the idea? How were you inspired to create this game, though?
I believe it really started one day my dad told me that I would be creating a big project that daddy would give me the idea,
Yeah,
and I think within that week the first thing that really popped into my mind was a community that can help each other grow, educate themselves without any obstacles in their way.
right,
Um, Kind of just bring everybody together all into one from across the world. Doesn't matter who you are, age, race, anything like that. It is
right.
purely just bringing everybody together into one. Um, and I kind of just I thought about it, and I really like the idea of bringing physical education into it. So like and hobbies as well. So like anything you like to do, you could bring it into it. Any sports, any physical education. Dad likes to really the idea of parkour a lot. So that's gonna be very well integrated into it. But I think I really found inspiration from games like Pokemon Go, where you'd have to walk around and go catch Pokemon. And also I believe there was a show, really not really old show, called The Great Race, and that show was very like it stuck in my head because it was going to this place, doing this puzzle or this questionnaire or something, and then finding out where you need to go next for another place for more points and whatnot. And I always liked the thought of that, so I kind of just started from there. And well, what do you do when you do that type of thing? You move. So that's where the name came from.
Yeah. Well, I love it. And when you first told me about the concept, you had written up an outline of what it was. And I
Hmm.
read that and I was stunned. It's a totally unique idea. No one else has ever done it. No one's thought of it. And you said you wrote it in like 10 minutes or something like that. So it's
Yeah,
like given to you. This project is perfect for you.
yeah. In school, I never really liked typing things and essays and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
when it always came to ideas that I really liked, I usually did beyond what was needed.
Yeah.
Um, and this I mean, all of it was in my head for a while,
Yeah.
but it like my dad says, it's a lot better to write it down so you have it somewhere. And so I wrote that all down with everything that I could think of and some stuff that I added on within a couple of days after.
Right.
But that's everything's all on my phone.
Beautifully done. Yeah. So it was divinely inspired is what I'm getting at. Like so about you personally, I have a list of your passions. So what are your passions in life? Because it ties beautifully in with this project.
I know one of my passions is sleeping. That's one big one. But other than that, I do like to I like to learn a lot. I like
Yeah,
to like sometimes like 2, 3 in the morning I'll go on to huge long tangents learning about, different types of stories of my big thing is comics and different type of just media in general. And like I get so focused into these things where I could learn a whole story of a comic that came out within 20 minutes because I find it interesting.
right.
And I'll do that with comics. I'll do that with learning new skills, anything like that. Like I really wanted to get into there's a I can't remember the name of it. Maybe I'm blanking at the moment, but like it's a type of like crafting. I can't remember the name of it right now. It'll probably get to me later on, but there's a lot of cool things I like to do. Another one is building box models, just building something in general. I like to build. Um, I follow instructions really well. Legos is one of my favorite things to do. You have a limitless potential with Legos and stuff like
Right.
that.
Creativity. Yeah. Well,
Hmm.
I have gotten to know you through the years. You were at my expos years ago, which is how I met you. But I
Yeah,
know that JJ is so knowledgeable about any kind of video game. It's crazy. So one
absolutely.
time I asked him about a game. He was playing a game and I said, "Oh, I haven't heard of that." And he went into like a 20-minute like dissertation about the game. And at first I'm like, "Oh, I don't care." But then I started listening and I was like, really interested with the concept of this other game. So you have a way of like disseminating that information. So he loves games. He plays a lot
Hmm.
of games, right? And you're very
Yeah.
knowledgeable about that. And the other thing is you love graphic novels, science
Hmm.
fiction. We've talked a lot about science fiction and Marvel movies, action movies, and I was like, we should have a podcast. Really, you should be a host of a podcast because you know so much about those topics. So it's really fun to talk with JJ. He knows a lot about those things, science fiction and fantasy. Um, One other thing I like about you, JJ, is you like comfy clothes, which we'll talk about
Absolutely.
shortly. Comfy clothes is key.
Absolutely.
And then food. Okay, like I'm a food person, so food is a pretty big topic for me, as I think it
Hmm.
is for you. It's just fun. But I think people want to get to know you because this game is going to take the world by storm once it's completed, right?
Hmm.
Right.
Hmm.
So we talked a little bit about how you came up with the concept, but let's talk about what MOVE is in general. Like, what is the game or what is the project?
So move it's an acronym for a lot of words that I really want to
Yep.
integrate into the project. So like MOVE stands for motivating, organizing, uniting, visualizing, and educating.
Yeah.
And those 5 pillars are gonna be what basically holds MOVE up to the standard it's gonna be put to.
Yeah.
Because I want it's gonna be like a brand. We're gonna have multiple different aspects of MOVE and but the main thing I want to do, I wanted to motivate people. I
Right.
wanted to organize people. I want to organize events. I wanted to unite a lot of communities and different types of cultures that would otherwise never be united.
Yeah.
I want people to visualize where they're going and where they want to be, and I want people to educate themselves on anything that they feel like they want to be educated
Right.
on.
Right.
That you create your own curriculum. You don't
Right.
have no type of rules. Oh, you need to learn this. You need to learn this. You can't learn that. No, you learn what you want to learn.
Right.
It's all
Yeah.
based on you.
Right. Everyone has a different strength or weakness, and we've talked to people that are really physical and they have a physical intelligence, and then you've got people that are really into, like, say, science or math or
Hmm.
whatever. So this game will basically allow each to fulfill those needs in that area. They can really focus on what they love or like to do and gain more
Hmm.
skills there, right? So
Right, right.
I had a question last week. So what if somebody isn't physically, we'll call it capable? of exercise or running or climbing, or whatever. This is not just a physical game, is it?
No, absolutely not. Because I've also thought about that myself,
Yeah.
and granted, a lot of people won't be able to do the physical education part, and that's perfectly fine because it doesn't it's not surrounding itself around physical education.
Right, right,
Honestly, what it's surrounding itself on is the aspect of bringing people together and educating, and also it's all about you. It's not comparing yourself to people. There's no hierarchy. There's no I'm better than you. It's all about the you on
yeah,
Move.
mhm,
So and for instance, it says common humanity at the bottom because we're all one. We're all together. It
right,
doesn't matter if your weakness is my strength or my weakness is your strength. Whatever it is, we can all come together and help each
right,
other grow.
right. Excellent. So, for example, let's say I wanted to learn a language, but I wasn't really wanting to run or do anything physical. I could
Mhm.
still join in with Move and
Absolutely.
and learn the language. Now, and then I'm rewarded by points and or cash, right?
Yeah, so we're gonna have a point system.
Yeah.
Basically, the more you learn, the more you put yourself to it, the more determined you are. We'll go and scale what how many points you get, and those points can then be cashed in for, say, bills that need to be paid. You could go and vacations and whatnot. You could go and put your family members on vacations. It allows you to be, to make sure you're all right, but also be selfless and make sure that you allow other people to be, where
Taking
they
care
want
of
to
them.
be.
Right,
Right. It's
right.
not all about, oh, it's what I want. No, it's what
Yeah.
we all want.
So for example, if I played the game and I got a lot of points, I could donate them towards someone that was having trouble or
Absolutely.
needed financial assistance or whatever, and then they could use the points to help themselves. They could
Mm-hmm.
use that
Yep.
cash or whatever.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
even
fabulous.
then, that person themselves can also earn points if need be. I mean, everybody's going to have access to it.
Right.
So, and sometimes some people might have things that they can't do at the moment or somebody else can. You could then help them out. Hey, I know you're not able to do this week, so let me
Yeah.
lend you the points. You do what you need. You can pay me back or you don't have to. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
We're all, it's not something where it's like, oh, you know, I give, you give, or if I give you something, I expect it in
Right.
return. There's
Right.
it's limitless. There's no limit to it. As long the only limit is whatever you put yourself to.
Right. I would like to think that, let's say someone's excited and motivated and they're
Mhm.
not in physical shape. Okay. Like they don't do anything now. They don't like to exercise, that they
Mhm.
would be so excited about this game. They would say, hey, maybe I'll go for a walk, build up my
Right.
points, blah, blah, blah. And then maybe I'll do it again the next day or whatever, and just mildly get into a healthier lifestyle. Right.
Absolutely.
That would
We
be
don't
like the hope. Right.
right.
Yeah.
You don't want to overbear somebody.
Yeah.
So I like I that is one of the ideas that I came up
Yeah.
with where it's something as small as, hey, I could walk this mile and
Yeah,
listen to a podcast about a certain subject, some type of history, and
yeah,
then get home and do a questionnaire, and
yeah,
that questionnaire gets me points. But while I'm doing that questionnaire, while I'm learning the education part of it, I walked a mile, and it goes hand in hand,
right.
and it allows you to do two things at once, and it allows you to ease yourself into the physical education part.
Right. Yeah. And some people love do physical stuff. They want to play basketball, they want to be running, lifting weights, whatever it could be all the time. So
Mhm.
yeah, they're going to have it easy with that, but maybe they're lighter on the intellectual side. So maybe
Mhm.
this would encourage them to learn some new things that they're interested in,
Right.
whatever, it doesn't matter. So the list of topics is really limitless.
It absolutely is. And especially with sports, what I thought, was a great idea with the sports aspect is you can, go to this certain place, do whatever, criteria needs to be, finished, whether it's, oh, you need to learn this certain move in sport, or learn how to do this,
Yeah,
learn how to do that, and that allows you to, get better at your skills, hone your skills, sharpen your skills,
yeah.
so then you could be better. And while you're earning points, say the basketball you're using recently has been lackluster and it's been depreciating. Well, with the points, you can then trade points in and get a better basketball and
Ah,
stuff like that. It basically allow yourself to get further, so
yeah.
you have more of a reason to do it.
Sounds amazing. Sounds amazing. Yeah. I
Thank you.
wish they had this back when I was younger because we were forced to do certain physical tasks and of course intellectual tasks. And we're good at some things, we like them. We're not good at other things, but you got to go through it, you know. It would
Hmm.
be so much better if life was about do more of what you love. Explore other things, of course, but do more of what you love. And that's what it sounds
Hmm.
like this is. It's going to be a healthy way of rounding out your your interest, your personality, your knowledge, your physical fitness, everything, all
Absolutely.
in one beautiful package. And the uniting piece. So you're really trying to have people in the community come together for events, for projects, for, learning,
Yep.
whatever. And I think that's an important component that we've been deprived of recently. Like the
Hmm.
past 4 or 5 years, we've become, and I say in general, we've become afraid of physically being around people. You
Hmm.
see memes and jokes all the time about people don't want to leave their house anymore,
Hmm.
They don't want to go out and combat other people and deal with other people's opinions or whatever it might be. And I think
Hmm.
doing our society a big injustice by staying inside and not interacting.
Right.
One of the things that, like, I saw a picture of people on a beach in the 70s, and the comment was, "What do you see in the picture?" Well, we see people outside. They're healthy. They're thin because they're not eating the chemical food that we are, but
Right.
talking with each other. They're not like this with their phone. There's actual conversation and laughing together. They're
Hmm.
relaxing. We don't get that anymore because even if we're all in a group having fun, we've still got the phone in our face all the time. So
Right.
it's my opinion that we need more conversation.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I like face to face more than I like over the phone,
yeah,
texting and stuff like that. I like to have people in my presence
yeah,
because it's easier to convey what you mean. Because
yeah,
you can always type up a text, but you'll never know what the other person on the other side is going to think of
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Or of receiving a text, you never know what they mean by a certain word choices and
yeah,
whatnot.
yeah.
Being face to face is more intimate.
Yes. Well, you see the nonverbal cues, right? And you
Mhm.
feel the energy of what they're saying or trying to
Right.
convey. And I know it's happened so many times where I've taken a text or an email wrong. I get all plugged in, oh man. And maybe it was just an innocent way. Maybe they just used the wrong word that triggered me. So
Right.
being with other people is so much better in my opinion.
Hmm. I
Um,
agree.
Question, will MOVE replace schools? Like right now, the kids have a limited amount of physical activity at school and they're supposed to sit there the whole day learning all these topics.
Hmm. I aim to get to that certain level.
Right,
Now, the only thing that I would come to think of when it comes to replacing schools is the
yeah,
jobs involved. I
yeah,
wouldn't want to take a teacher who loves teaching out of their job.
right,
So I would like for Move in the future, when it is as big as it is, to
yeah,
have different facilities in certain areas, different little, the buildings and whatnot, probably replacing a lot of school buildings
yeah,
so that you can, anybody could come in. We're gonna have different sections for different ages. We're gonna have everybody all together though in one nice place, and the teachers that teach from schools can work there and possibly get paid more because a lot of the time when you're online, you see that, oh, the pay that teachers get isn't worth the stuff they go through a lot of times.
Yeah,
And that's something that I've even talked to with some of my teachers back home when I went to school, is that, oh, I get paid enough, but I don't get paid enough to deal with, some kids who might be such a hassle.
or
So,
misbehave.
or
Yeah,
misbehave
yeah,
or any type of situation that might warrant that.
yeah,
But I do aim to make MOVE in the aspect replace schools, but not entirely, change them.
right.
Just make them more of a safe and easy place to go to.
I know the schools all need to be changed anyway, and they will be. And maybe
Hmm.
this will go hand in hand with the schools. So
Hmm.
it will supplement what people are already doing. Maybe it'll be part of the curriculum. Who knows what it's going to morph into?
Right.
Doesn't I think it's a great thing because some kids can't sit that long. Some people really love to learn and, practice and do the school stuff. Some
Hmm.
people just want to run. So you've got to let people do what they're naturally good at, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, in school myself, I mean, if I were to show my transcript, I was never really good in certain subjects like reading and I mean, to be honest, math I was good at, but I never applied myself.
Yeah,
I like homework I never did, stuff like that, but I would
yeah,
get good testing grades.
right.
Um, One thing I did really excel at was science and history for some reason. Now, me, I have no idea why, but science and history, I always had A's and A pluses, and also physical education, anything that didn't have to do with, sitting at a desk and
Right,
reading, learning something.
right.
Physical education, I never really liked sports, but I
Yeah,
liked playing competitive games, which is one of the classes that was named, and we would play different games like I mean, hockey is a sport, but we would play it in different ways. We play hockey, set up hula hoops to look like what we call castles, and we would knock the balls into the castles. Dodgeball, you have kickball, stuff like that. Those aren't really sports, but they are competitive games,
yeah.
and they were fun to me. That I would rather do that than play a sport.
Yeah. And you know what? It is fun to play kickball or baseball. Like you're an adult, like, you haven't
Hmm.
played it in a while. To play is actually fun, and we don't allow ourselves that anymore. So
Yeah.
again, it doesn't have to be an organized sport. You don't have to run a marathon. You don't have to,
Mm-mm.
do
Unless
it.
you want to.
Yeah, you could do whatever you want, really, it
Hmm.
sounds like.
Yeah, yeah,
And maybe you're already doing something, but you can be rewarded for that, which is just a great
absolutely.
concept.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and one of the things I always thought was funny how going into from elementary school or think it was called primary in some places
Yep.
to middle school or secondary and then into high school, is they take away what we call recess
Yeah.
for more time to sit there and learn at a desk and whatnot. And I always thought that was kind of stupid because I had more fun knowing that I was going to my competitive games class because I would be able to go run around, throw a ball at a another ball on a stick or something to make sure we get a point in my team or something like that.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
never really liked sitting at desks for so long. Sometimes I'd even fall asleep, and a
Yeah.
couple of my teachers always, we were always made fun of it, but they knew that I would get my work done. So like in history class, there was one class that I would always fall asleep in,
Yeah.
but I had A plus in that class, being asleep every time. So it
Yeah.
doesn't, you can't say, oh, their interest or their non-interest in it
Yeah.
equates to their grade, because I would not really listen in class unless it was a cool subject, but then I would go and get incredible grades because, I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and sometimes even though like I'll have remember a certain part of the year back in like maybe 2019 where I had back in my school we used to have five classes and lunch in the middle of the fourth one, and four of my classes were boring, but the last one was amazing. But because those first four boring ones were so boring, I would get tired. And in that fifth class that I actually had fun in, I would sometimes sleep. or if it was something really interesting, I would be wide awake and then sleep when I get home.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like it, I want to have something where people could be super excited about everything they do
Right.
and not dread, oh, I gotta go to this class and deal with this teacher for this
Yeah.
amount of time
Yeah.
and have to sit there and I hustle the watch or the clock on the wall or your watch or something like that. Like
Yeah.
one of my things, I think I showed you this, was my favorite the what was it? The Bible verse that got me through school, and it was lunch 11:35 because that was the time lunch started, and that always made me laugh.
Yeah, it's true. Well, I don't
Mhm.
care who you are, sitting for a long time is hard. Like you
Yeah.
get like antsy and you stop paying attention no matter how interesting the topic is. And I
Hmm.
think that has to be detrimental to you actually learning. So again, the new structure of this is you get to do what you want when you want to, when it's convenient, when you feel like it, when you're motivated to do it. And a lot of people will be super motivated because of the point slash financial.
Hmm.
I love that idea. I love that idea. Now, is Move ready to go now? Is it ready for people to start playing?
So right now, what we have done is we have the website, we have our merchandise ready. Uh, Recently we just got the subscription based. You could go in there, put your email in,
Yeah,
your first name, second name, last name, uh, and be able to get emails based on any update with Move.
right.
So the website itself is ready. Um, Once we get the funds, we're gonna start doing everything. We have
Yeah,
all the areas we want to. We've mapped out. We have all the equipment we want to get. We have basically everything in its right place. We have the blueprint. Now
right,
it's just basically getting the materials to build what we want,
right,
build
right.
the brand and whatnot.
Excellent. Okay, so for those that are excited, and I've already gotten a lot of people like, how do I sign up? The first
Mhm.
step is to add your name on the website, moveofficial.com. And you'll be a subscriber, and then you'll get a notification when things are changing in status, so you'll know. Okay, that's the first step. Um, Now, it's going to take a while probably to get this going, and I shouldn't say it like that. It will take whatever it takes to get it going because
Mhm.
there's a lot of movement behind the scenes that we're not even aware of. And
Right.
I'm assuming there'll be a lot of people that will want to help put this
Absolutely.
together as well. And so we'll talk about that in the future once we're ready.
Hmm.
Now, can we, I talked about JJ's, one of his passions is always comfy clothes. Okay. So can you show us a little bit, show us
Yeah.
your sweatshirt and
So
talk about that?
this hoodie we actually made last night. Is called Move Common Humanity. And basically what it stands for is just everybody all together being one community.
Yeah, yeah,
We're a common humanity.
yeah,
And like I said, it I have the U in orange because Move is all about you, the individual. You learn what you want to, you do what you want to.
right,
It's all about you.
right,
And there's a couple other hoodies we have on the website. We have a minimalist hoodie, which is just Move, and it has the acronym on the back. There's the Founders Edition, which that one's my favorite because that's the first hoodie I ever basically made, and edited and put together. Um, and then we also have the wristbands or the silicone bracelets that say Move on them, and they come in 5 different colors. They're all like a marble color and whatnot, and they have the acronym of Move on it, and it's all there. It's
right,
comfortable stuff.
right,
The brace. These. I mean, I have a bunch on my myself, and they never bother me because they're comfortable. The
right.
hoodies, I right now all we have is hoodies, because to me hoodies are comfortable and anybody can wear a hoodie. You don't have to be athletic to wear a hoodie.
Right, right. Okay, so you've got the hoodies ready and the bracelets. And
Hmm.
now are these also infused with the healing and protective frequencies?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So basically you can buy we're gonna call it the Founders Edition is kind of a collector's item sweatshirt and
Hmm.
hoodie. Is that correct? There's only
Yeah.
gonna be so many of them.
So the founders hoodies, the way I had them, the idea that I had was I want something that somebody could purchase and be like, hey, I have a founders edition hoodie. I was there when it started. I was there during the first the first interview. I was there, when everything was just a brand on a website. And once it becomes what it's going to become in the future and the near future, I want somebody to be like, "Hey, look at the hoodie I'm wearing." And it says Founders Edition on the back, and I know they were there from the start. Because
Yeah,
after a while, once everything starts to pop off and go, to the many places it's gonna go, that's gonna not be on the
yeah,
website anymore.
yeah, yeah.
That's gonna be a Founders Edition, something that's gonna be limited. Now
All
there
right,
isn't a limited quantity, it's only limited to as many as people buy them,
right.
but it's gonna be a limited time item.
Right, right. So these are basically custom made sweatshirts for
Yeah.
MOUVE. They are available now on the website. So when you order them, give it about 2 weeks for shipping, right? And
hmm
they're all going to have the healing and protective frequencies that we've become accustomed to in the jewelry and the other products that we purchase from Smarty's Corner or the company of heavenofficial.com, right?
hmm hmm
Yay. So
Most of them are going to be found on Move, but yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. That's really awesome. So I just wanted to ask, one more stupid question, we'll call it. For those that,
There's no such thing as a stupid question.
yeah, that's true. For those that don't know about Pokemon Go, okay, like I knew of it by accident. Okay, so
Right.
I took my family to Sedona years ago before I moved there, and basically my son-in-law was playing it, and I didn't understand what we did, but he'd say, "Can I borrow the car?" And he'd run out and go somewhere, and they all were standing around, and I didn't know what they were doing. So can you explain that a little bit?
So Pokemon Go a couple years ago came out, and it was a game where when you open up the game, it shows you the map of where you are.
Yeah,
And like the whole brand of Pokemon was, you go out and catch these different type of animals, these different type of Pokemon, if you will, and you could keep them, collect them in your Pokédex, and you would basically be able to battle them against other people's Pokemon and whatnot. But you always had them, and the main part of it was always walking, or they didn't really encourage driving unless you were a passenger, but
yeah,
driving to different
yeah,
locations and whatnot. And
yeah,
it allowed you to basically explore around your neighborhood, um
yeah,
while earning Pokemon.
yeah,
And they had a couple things where it wasn't the safest, because some people would do a couple things that weren't really beneficial. um and we aim to kind of combat that with Move, but we really want like the idea of basically moving to different locations,
yeah,
getting stuff done and earning points.
right,
Like Pokemon,
yeah,
moving to different locations, gaining Pokemon and being able to battle them for points or something
right,
like that.
right. Well, what I
Yeah.
thought was cool is once I understood what he was doing, like I would see a lot of people out there. Now they all had their phones and they were all in groups talking. They were all excited, and then they go to a certain spot. Like I
hmm
wasn't really getting it, but I thought it was cool that people were getting together to do that. Like I didn't understand the concept, but your concept is so much more interactive. It's broader based. It's
hmm
again, it's got so many more topics. You have the physical fitness, you have the community
hmm
feeling there, and then you have the education piece where anyone can learn any topic they're interested in. So
hmm
cooking, language, science, math, auto repair. You pick a topic, and that is an acceptable thing for you to learn. How cool is that?
hmm
Right. And from talking with your dad, I think it was last week, we discussed that it was going to kind of start. The first one would be in Destin itself.
Yep.
And other areas would basically duplicate it, and it might be a little bit customized to those areas. So
Absolutely.
so there might be like fields or woods or buildings that are purchased specifically for move and in different areas, and that the local people would use those spots. Is that correct?
Yeah, so the first one would be in Destin.
yeah,
and we have an area mapped out. The second one would be in Birmingham. After Birmingham, from then on, it's gonna branch out to wherever,
okay,
wherever we can
yeah,
find a nice area that has basically, you know, connections to the surrounding area where it's easy
yes,
for people to access. Transportation and stuff like that is gonna be provided, you
yeah,
know. But it's basically we're gonna have a lot of buildings, a lot of campuses, if you will, where
yeah,
people can go to, and it's kind of like back home we had the Boys and Girls Club, where I mean you had to be a member and pay. With this you don't, but
okay,
you could go there, you could see friends, you could play games. They had different type of stuff, but it was an area where people could go and feel safe. And a lot of people, a lot of times on a lot of my friends that lived where I lived, they would go to the Boys and Girls Club more than they would sometimes go home. Right after school, they go to the Boys and Girls Club because it felt like a second home.
right,
And so it's gonna be a mix between that type of institution and like the YMCA, where you can, go in. I mean, these do have memberships. Ours won't, but it's based off of, if you're a good person,
right, right,
if you're evil, if you do evil things, we're not really gonna bring you in because we don't know
yeah,
what you can hold. That evil negativity can leech onto many other people, and then you have a whole room of people that are negative. We don't want that.
right, right.
Strictly positivity.
Right. I love that too. So if I'm traveling, let's say I join up, and I go to the one in Destin, and then I'm traveling and I go to Birmingham, I can go
Mhm.
there, there's no charge whatsoever,
Nope.
ever. There's never a charge. You can join up and you don't even have to participate, but why would you bother? Why wouldn't you participate? Right?
Right.
Yeah. Especially, let's say you don't need the money, but maybe you need motivation to learn that thing you want to learn, cooking,
hmm
language, whatever. You want to learn more about a certain country. So maybe you could join and get those points and donate them to someone else, or you know what I
You
mean?
could, yeah, yeah. That is a very great point because I always thought of if somebody didn't have the need for points, but wanted to learn something, they could, like you said, give their
Yeah,
points away.
yeah,
It's all up to them, or they can keep them and,
yeah,
and use them if they ever
yeah,
need them in the future.
yeah.
Because the
Well,
you now isn't the same you in the week.
yeah.
So,
Yeah. Perfect. So it is a game. It's got a little bit of excitement there because of the points, and it's a game, and you can play at your own pace, but it's
mhm,
motivating, right? Because
right.
it's points, right? Whether you use them or not is irrelevant, really. But it's
hmm
kind of maybe motivating for some people to learn that thing they've been meaning to do, but just don't get around to do it or
Right.
whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Excellent.
Exactly.
Excellent. Is there anything I've missed at this point that the audience should know about MOVE?
I honestly think we hit all the points. It's gonna be a huge thing. I can't wait. I'm excited about it. You know, we covered everything from the
Right.
motivating, the organizing. I mean, we're gonna have events,
Yeah,
with the organizing part. We're gonna have a lot of things where it's like, come to this certain area. We're gonna have a huge move, event where you can do different type of things, learn different
right,
hobbies, introduce yourself to different hobbies and stuff like that. The uniting part, like you said, is gonna be worldwide, planet wide, if you will.
right, right.
And it's we're gonna have move everywhere if we can, and I really like the aspect of learning other cultures, some
Yeah,
cultures that you would never be able to learn without having to spend a ridiculous amount of money.
right, right,
For instance, you could, participate in move, gain points, and go to a country you've never been to and learn about it
right,
and gain even more points. It's a never ending thing, but it's just it. Move is all about what you want to learn. It's
right.
nothing about what people want you to learn. It's what you want to put your mind to. Because you
Love
can't
that.
force somebody to learn and then have them, recite this X, Y, Z, W, number one, two, and three if they don't have interest in it, because they're not gonna. I know I wouldn't,
No, no.
right? I wouldn't do that, but it's all on based on what you want to do.
What I like about what you just said is that, let's say we want to learn a language. We all know the quickest and easiest way to learn a language or about a culture is to go visit that land.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times going across the world is expensive and we can't do it. So
Hmm.
here, this allows us a way to learn the language, immerse ourselves in the language and the culture, and it's a great way, yeah, to do all,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a perfect example, my Spanish teacher, she taught Spanish and
Yeah.
learned Spanish from living in, I believe it was, I can't remember what South American country, but she lived there for a couple years
Yeah,
and came
yeah,
back speaking fluent Spanish.
yeah,
So she ended up getting herself a job at my school teaching Spanish.
yeah,
So it's all based on what you learn and what you can give to others.
yeah. And I've talked to many people that have lived in, China or Belize or, wherever it might be, and they come back and they are fully aware of how the culture really works. Like we have our ideas, but being there really shows you what it's like. And I
Mhm.
mean, being there without being a tourist so much, immersing
Right.
yourself in the culture. So, the move is a great way to keep ourselves in physical shape. So, a lot of the people watching this now are hoping to go through the crystalline chambers, okay? And we're going to have our new or our original bodies, which is perfect and exciting. But
Hmm.
there may be a transitory period for that. And also, there's going to be a lot of people out in the world that don't know about the crystalline chambers, haven't had
Hmm.
a chance yet, or don't choose to use them.
Right.
So this game, the physical aspect of move will be really a great benefit for them, to
Hmm.
help get them more physically fit and organized, you know. Um, but then even after the chambers, we might like to participate just for fun. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, let's just say you love to run or you love to swim, and all right, maybe you've got your original beautiful body and you're age 30 again. Well, you can still do those activities, right?
Absolutely.
So it's going to be
Mhm.
just perfect for everyone, no matter what your stage in life is or where you're located. So.
Right.
All right,
Exactly.
so bottom line, let's summarize what we've talked about is the website is moveofficial.com.
Yep.
Information will be in the comments. If you go to the website, you could subscribe, give that JJ your email and info. And when there is a news update, we will be doing more videos as well, but we'll
Hmm.
send an email out so that you know what's happening and you won't be left behind. Just don't worry about that aspect, okay? And then
Hmm.
if you want a Founders Edition hoodie or the other hoodies that are available, they're on the website and that's live now, right?
Hmm.
And this is going to be amazing. So I anticipate you may need volunteers in the future, and then we'll do a video asking for whatever assistance we need or whatever we're going to need in the future. So,
Hmm.
yeah. Anything else we need to tell the audience?
Nothing. I mean, not really anything.
Okay.
The
Well,
special man made an appearance.
One of the best things that I think about is how we're going to all learn about the different foods all around the world and what
yeah,
quality they bring.
yeah.
So
Hmm.
that's important, and especially the weight loss because we all need that shit.
Well, yes, that is true. He had to photobomb, didn't he?
Yeah, I had to. I
Yeah,
had to.
but
Wearing the hoodie though. Wearing the hoodie though.
yep. But like again, we're all hoping for the crystalline chambers at the speed of light. Okay. They're going to get
Hmm.
here when they do. The process will be whatever it is. But in the
Hmm.
meantime, when the MOVE program is out there, you have options, fun
Right.
options to help you in whatever way you want to be helped. So,
Right.
yeah. Thank you so much for your time. This is really
Thank you.
exciting. And I will talk to you anytime you want. And
Hmm.
I'll gather questions from the audience. So put your comments below and then we'll address the comments and we will not leave people behind. We will let them know
Nope.
what the status of everything is, right?
Everybody.
Right.
What do you say?
I don't know. What'd you say?
I said thank you, everybody.
He said, "Thank you, everybody."
Thank you. So thank you, JJ. Appreciate your time very much.